Welcome to this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. Today we're going to be looking at another Pac-Man game by a once semi-popular video game manufacturer that took the Pac-Man license as far away from rational practicality as possible. Once you see this, you'll never complain about that version of Pac-Man ever again. And no, this didn't come from Tiger Electronics. MGA Color FX2 Pac-Man. Let's get into it. Gosh, that's the most awful rendition of the Pac-Man theme I have ever heard. Though I haven't played every single tabletop or handheld of Pac-Man that's out there, all I know is that this is the worst that I have played. If there are any worse than this, I would actually like to see them. Now, when it comes to retro portable video games, I think Tiger Electronics is well established in infamy in that area, and it's been magnified by James Rolfe and Mark Bussler. Though I'm not knocking those guys, they're entitled to their opinion and they have every right to voice their opinion, but I don't think anyone talks enough about MGA. Where Tiger Electronics did it bad, MGA did it even worse. And why would you make such a convoluted, clunky version of Pac-Man such as this? How does this game play? Well, it has an unbalance of either being very stiff or very slippery. It depends what level you start off in. If you start off at level 1, it's very lethargic and moves at a snail's pace. If you start off at any level past 3, it moves like a fish greased in olive oil. The overworld is divided into 8 segments, and I'll show you that more in depth later. But it doesn't help that sometimes you don't know that there's a ghost on the other end of the screen, and you'll move over to that side and get yourself killed. There's hardly any anticipation with the deaths. They feel real cheap. There's no way to scout what's on the other side of the map, and it's just not interesting. Alright, let's take a look at the unit itself. I kind of like this analog pad. It's pretty comfortable. It's not perfect, but it feels like the top of an analog stick that's mounted close to the board, but it feels strangely comfortable for this kind of game. But any merit that the hardware will have is completely ruined by the terrible game itself. Just maybe Tiger Electronics would have benefited from this kind of pad rather than having this 4 nubs of a directional pad. I mean, these little bumps kind of put you at a handicap. It's a translucent, I can't even spit it out. It's a translucent orange. You can see the 4 AA batteries back there, and there's your speaker. MGA Entertainment. That once stood for Micro Games of America. I said in an earlier video, I believe it was the Star Wars Shaken Pinball video that I made, that MGA was picking up where Tiger Electronics was leaving off. I was mistaken. Actually, MGA and Tiger Electronics were contemporaries for quite a few years. And then I think Tiger Electronics phased out. This is not an actual history lesson, so you guys can rip me apart in the comments if I get anything wrong. But I think Tiger Electronics phased out, and these guys continued with their games until they hit it big with the Bratz dolls, and they had another line of popular toys as well. So they continued to make these while the Bratz was gaining popularity, and eventually they phased out their line of handhelds and continued with Bratz and other popular toys that they were making. So let's turn it on. If you want to restart the game, just hit New Game, and you'll start a new game. Move this up, and you can select the level you want to play. Goes up to level 6. What stinks about this is you can't push down and go back to level 2 or 1. You gotta keep pushing up until you get the level you want. Let's turn it off. There's your sound button, your player check. You can actually swap this with another player if you die on your turn. But I don't know who else is going to want to play this with you. So let's turn it back on. There's player 2 indicated right there. Now it's a one-player game. What I really hate about this game, let me show you something real quick. Whoops, I turned it off. Let me start new game. Right here, your whole overworld. That's your whole overworld. So where it's blinking is where I am on the entire map. I don't know why they divided the whole overworld into 8 segments when they should have simplified it. But it makes my head hurt, and trying to understand why they went this route is really not worth the aggravation. All I know is that this is a terrible version of Pac-Man, and you don't want it. If the screen display looks terrible in this video, well, I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't look much better in person. Here I am playing at a higher difficulty, though it doesn't make it more interesting. Pac-Man is a very simple but well-articulated concept adapted to a video game, but something got horribly lost in the translation of this game. They confuddled and ruined everything that made Pac-Man great, from the maze to when the ghosts are vulnerable. It's just like they took the gameplay and butchered it and just made it horrible. This game is like a cruel joke that's attempting to ruin Pac-Man for you. And Pac-Man shouldn't be ruined for everyone. It's a classic. So step over this version of Pac-Man. There are much better versions of Pac-Man out there. Well, that about does it for this review of A Crime Against Humanity. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for future episodes of the Straight Edge Game Room. Take care.